our CEO wrote an article called Why the U.S.-Israel Relationship is a Matter of American National Security. And the quote is toward the end. It says, "It is not simply the affirmation of U.S.-Israel ties that is required. We must stop the transfer of unreported money from hostile foreign countries to our colleges and universities. We must commission more social media content that tells the real story of Israel as well as her relationship with America. We must end the systematic anti-Israel, anti-America indoctrination of our students, like the Woodson Center's 1776 Unites is a response to Hannah Nicole Jones' destructive 1619 project. We must assist in producing and distributing real objective educational materials that tell the true story of Israel for students of all ages. We must facilitate more Holy Land pilgrimages from more American leaders, something Dr. King was in the process of doing for Black Americans when he was assassinated in 1968. I just want to point something out. This isn't a random list. This is almost kind of an order, right? The first, before the Israel trips, because that kind of already is happening. People do that all the time. Before the social media content, before all that, the first thing he said, we must stop the transfer of unreported money from hostile foreign countries to our colleges. I got asked a question, I think, twice today. Are you guys on college campuses? Well, not really. We do events sometimes, but we don't really do that. Why not? Our CEO started to see the game that was being played. We see it too. You have these anti-Israel students on campus, intimidating Jewish kids, having these Israel apartheid weeks, whatever, with dark money that they're being bankrolled with from foreign countries and terrorist organizations, right? So you have Students for Justice in Palestine, Muslim Student Association. You have even people who are members of these groups on college campuses who aren't even students. And you have money coming from Qatar. You have groups on campus that shouldn't even be there. And then you have a group of pro-Israel students now who set up to combat them. The moment that happens, it legitimizes effectively the anti-Israel students. Because in that, what your messaging is, these anti-Israel students have every right to be on this campus, and they don't. You have the pro-Israel and the anti-Israel, and they go at each other, and that's pretty much how it is every year. Nothing changes. As a matter of fact, things have gotten worse. They are worse than ever before. 20 years ago, our friend Charles Jacobs made a documentary called Columbia Unbecoming, 2004, where he showed this video to a bunch of pro-Israel leaders, and they told him, you can go do something. Go away. They wouldn't show it. They wouldn't show the video. Columbia, and what happened with Columbia a few months ago? And people want to act shocked, right? People in the pro-Israel space, like, oh how could this be? How could this be? This was already being a couple of decades ago. The approach that we've been taking with college campuses has not been working. And what has to happen before anything else? What would be the point of Dr. King marching and getting beaten up and stabbed and jailed and all that kind of stuff if he sent his children to a KKK school?
I was going to comment on how the indoctrination happens, that it's not only anti-Israel, but it's anti-America as well. It's anti-freedom. That's why you have people use the term useful idiots. I'm starting to say useful and dangerous idiots because they are enabling this to happen. You have these youngsters that are supposed to be able to apply critical thinking skills and apply their mind, but they're not. They're just foolishly screaming and calling for a globalized intifada, which when that comes, God being merciful that it doesn't, is going to kill them, right? And so, yes, if we're going to adequately address this problem, we have to go to the root. We have to deal with these professors that are being funded and the curriculum that is being funded with so much anti-Israel and anti-American garbage. It's like taking a Band-Aid and trying to cover a wound that's not only deep but infected and pretty much gangrenous. So yes, there's a lot of work that has to be done. We encourage everybody who has not yet had a chance to visit our Substack to read part 1. He's going to be releasing part 2 this week, but to read part 1 of Pastor Dumisani Washington's article about how this is a threat. This is a threat to America's national security. Please be reading, and there are clear instructions, like Josh already mentioned, or clear suggestions as to how we can win this war. Yes, we are very deep in it, and in a lot of places, I think that it's going to require a new generation to come in before things turn around. But by God's grace, there is still opportunity to make a difference. And so we need to fight as hard as we can while that opportunity is still there.